As older anime continues to be newly adapted for modern audiences, it allows for the classics to shine brilliantly once again as they suck in new fans with these amazing works of fiction. Amongst the group of old anime being newly adapted once again are the likes of Rurouni Kenshin, Shaman King, and Fruits Basket. I believe there is one though that stands out as a perfect example of remaking an anime, which is Urusei Yatsura, or also known as Those Obnoxious Aliens in the West. It's a very well-known anime that is loved by many throughout the anime industry for being a great rom-com with Best Girl alum and the unlucky Ataru since its original anime runtime from 1981 to 1986. It has been such a long time since Urusei Yatsura has seen the light of day that it deserved some sort of remake or reprisal, which we did end up getting in 2022 with the first part of the Urusei Yatsura 2022 anime. Currently, Urusei Yatsura is gearing up for its second part to be released in January of 2024. The modern rendition of this anime is amazing, and a must-watch for anyone in the comedy romance genre or looking to re-experience a classic that has been brought to life once again. Despite the amount of time that has passed since the last airing of Urusei Yatsura, it remains a classic romance anime well into the future. However, despite my absolute love for Urusei Yatsura and the characters that live within that world, I do think Rumiko Takahashi's other work, Ranma Half, deserves the remake treatment as well. Ranma Half may not have the same love for it as Urusei Yatsura, but I truly believe Ranma Half is wonderful and deserves for new and old fans alike to re-experience this fantastic anime series. Ranma Half deserves a remake, so let's talk about it. But before I do, don't forget to like the video, comment, and subscribe to the channel as it lets me know that you guys like this type of content. Now, let's get into Ranma. It all starts with our main character, Ranma Saotome, a young martial artist who is on a training journey with his father, Genma Saotome. Their journey has ultimately led them to Japan to meet with an old family friend, Saun Tendo. The reason for meeting with Tendo is so Ranma can meet with his 3 daughters and have an arranged marriage with one of them to succeed Tendo and carry on the future of their martial arts style. It's a bit traditional, but this allows us to meet the other protagonist, Akane Tendo. Akane is the youngest daughter of the Tendo family and is one of the heirs of the Anything Goes School of Martial Arts, along with her sisters Nabiki and Kasumi. Just a few problems though, as any arranged marriage never tends to go through. Firstly, Ranma's personality does not mix well with Akane's. Ranma is stubborn, sharp-tongued, and sly, although he is capable of kindness every once in a while. While on the other hand, Akane is kind and compassionate, but can be very rude and aggressive, often seen as a tomboy to the people around her, even her family. She also hates boys, especially Ranma. So, you know how this goes. 2 people despise each other, and throughout the story they go through trials and tribulations to test themselves and their relationship. The story can be varied by the books of how the romance and the relationship between Ranma and Akane develop and flourish over time. Well, that would be the case if it wasn't for this big problem that helps deviate away from that typical rom-com stuff. Ranma is also a girl. Well, half girl in this case. See the point of the name now? At some point during their training journey, Ranma and his father wandered upon an area with bamboo shoots rising from the ground with a bunch of hot springs around the area. It's like something out of those old martial arts movies, where it was Genma's idea to train in this area with his son, with Ranma rushing in right after without thinking twice. All the while, a tour guide tried his best to stop these 2 idiots and explain how dangerous of an act they were doing because of what lied below. Well, this is where things get complicated. First, Genma fell into one of the hot spring ponds after being attacked by Ranma. Genma then came out of the pond as a panda and then proceeded to knock Ranma into another hot spring pond, which had changed Ranma into a girl. The story behind why they changed after falling into these hot springs is that each hot spring is cursed with whatever drowned in it. So in Ranma and Genma's case, they fell into spring of drowned girl and panda respectively. Now, although all may seem lost, there is a cure, sorta, and that's water. And not just any water, hot water is the cure to change Ranma and Genma back into their true selves. I do say sorta since it is only a temporary fix for this issue. If a spring person gets doused in cold water though, then they will change into their spring form until hot water gets put on them where they change back. This is where the weird circumstances come in for Ranma Half, as Ranma must worry about his arranged marriage, all the while dealing with this curse at every convenient time possible, as Ranma is very intent on keeping that side of him a secret. Think of it as Hannah Montana, but with the idea that Ranma has friends and enemies on both sides of himself and must constantly juggle between forms to help the ones he cares about the most, whether he wants to or not. Well, think about it now, it's really like Hannah Montana. In all, it's a mix of chaos, unconventional romance, and danger that all come from this curse that makes this series so strange but yet so exciting. This unique plot device alone is why I believe Ranma deserves a remake. Ranma is the unconventional, male and female protagonist all in one, with each form providing its own series of pros and cons to his life. At one moment, this curse can be seen as a blessing, since it allows him to help the people he cares about in ways that no other standard male protagonist can do. While at another moment, this curse gets in Ranma's way while he's trying to accomplish something important to him, such as his relationship with Akane, all the while having a bunch of unique side characters be introduced to the story and seeing how they either help or hurt Ranma and his engagement with Akane. And when I mention side characters, I mean some of the weirdest and self-absorbed people you could ever meet. It becomes a test of love between Ranma and Akane, since so many people want to intervene and ruin this engagement. Add the curse along with this and oh boy, is it a ride. This entire situation can range from intensely frustrating, since you want Ranma and Akane to come to terms with their feelings, but then something must get in the way before that happens, to intensely wholesome despite the curse and the interruptions that come their way because of it. It ultimately becomes a test of their love and care for one another, which drives them onward into a brighter future together. This is the charm behind Ranma Half, and why I enjoy it so much, and I know for why other people enjoy it as well. Aside from the plot of Ranma, there are a couple other benefits of Ranma Half getting a remake within the current era of animation. As I mentioned, it would expose so many new fans to this wonderful piece of fiction while also giving it that nice new coat of paint it deserves. Look at what Urusei Yatsura is getting, and then imagine Ranma on it. That is exciting. And not only that, there hasn't been any sign of Ranma for some time, and that really needs to change. The last time something was done with Ranma was back in 2008 with the Ranma OVA Nightmare, Incense of Spring Sleep, and the 50th Shonen Sunday Shorts A Remake World. That's been 15 years at this point, and I think it's about time it got the same amount of love that Urusei Yatsura is currently getting in its modern adaptation. Another benefit of a remake is that the only available version of Ranma Half is quite long. The 1981 anime is riddled with many pieces of anime-only filler content. I don't personally have a problem with that, since it gives us more of what we love from these characters, but I would understand that someone could be intimidated by the number of episodes listed. There are a total of 161 episodes to watch, and some may see that as too much. Usually with newer anime, they tend to cut down on the fat and just shoot for episodes that hold some sort of importance to the plot, so they can meet at a usual 12 episodes per season. I still do recommend checking out the old 1991 anime, but a newer version would help with easing new fans in. Arguably, the biggest thing that would help new fans getting into Ranma is watching an anime that is complete. The original runtime of Ranma Half never completed its anime run in a satisfying manner, since it never fully adapted the ending of the manga. Think of it like Full Metal Alchemist or Shaman King. Ranma Half deviated from the manga, as the manga was still ongoing by the time the anime finished. So many fans, such as I, were left out of the loop of what happened to Ranma and Akane, and to see if there was a resolution to Ranma's curse and the future of Ranma and Akane's engagement. It's unfortunate for this weird and interesting anime to be left to a weirdly ended cliffhanger, as the issues all remain unaddressed in some sort of fashion. All that was left was a see ya from Ranma and Akane. No final arc, no potential permanent cure for Ranma, and no sort of resolution of the love between Ranma and Akane. Just an unsatisfying ending that leaves fans wanting after 20 plus years with no continuation. No anime that ever ends with its own anime ending has done it successfully. At least something like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood exists to rightfully finish and conclude what the original Full Metal Alchemist began. Ranma never got anything like that, and I believe it's time that it did get a full adaptation so that a complete Ranma anime is available for all to enjoy. And lastly, the biggest reason for Ranma Half to get a remake is for shampoo. Enough said. Although Ranma can be bizarre and wild, it rightfully deserves a remake within this current age of animation, as Urusei Yatsura is being made beautifully, and I know Ranma can really benefit from the same treatment as that. Ranma half, with all of its unique characters and plot, has left a wake of adoring fans ready and waiting just to eat up a Ranma half remake. The fact that there's a group of people that remade the Ranma opening in real life is telling to how many people are looking forward to something new. Again, this goes to show that if Ranma gets a remake, there will be a lot of hype around it. Let me know down in the comments about what you think regarding Ranma half and whether it should get a remake or not. I would love to hear your thoughts on that. In all, if you aren't sure about Ranma, give it a try. Watch the 1993 anime or read the manga, whether physical or digital. There is so much to love about Ranma, and I can go on for hours about it, but I would love nothing more to see a new adaptation for Ranma, just like Urusei Yatsura is getting right now. That's all I got for today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you so very much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. See ya.